Hello, this is Abel, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about my Jato 3.3 upgrades that I bought this car roughly 6 years ago, and I ran it for approximately one summer, and after that, pretty much just been sitting in my basement ever since. I think it was because well, not that I think, that I broke the carburetor accidentally because I couldn't get to start, and I just kept tweaking with it and kept turning all the screws until eventually the carburetor just broke. But now I know better, because in like cold weather, typically you're not supposed to run RC cars anyway. From the authorized Traxxas mechanic that I talked to, he said like you want it to be at least like 39 and up. I have ran it at about 35 degrees outside, but the problem is you have to run it extremely rich, and you have to really give it all the gas you can get. And with the stock settings on the carburetor, it doesn't switch gears. So essentially you'll be stuck in first gear, and not ideal running and in cold weather, but I do have a previous video where I did run a Jato 3.3 in cold weather. So without further ado, here is the Jato 3.3 with all the modifications that I've got, and I'll show you guys even some of the extra parts that I have not yet installed yet, like this. Reason I have not installed this yet is because this is only the front control arms. I'm trying to find the rear control arms in metal. I've been scouring the internet, and there just has not been one available yet. So without further ado, here we go. So this is an overview real quick. Here I got drilled some holes right here. Well, one hole right here and one hole in the back to retain your clips. I recently just flipped the car over upside down. I just replaced the tube. I got this from the Traxxas website right here. This is an extender for the nozzle to come all the way out. And also it helps keep your rear tire clean. Because as you can see, it is the rear left tire is always the one that's getting the most goop in it. Reason being, if you don't have this straw nozzle thing, which I didn't, so it would just pretty much like splat your rear tire. Now look at a comparison with the front. Not so bad. And here's another thing I'd like to talk to you guys about. So this is an aftermarket stainless steel freaking wheelie bar. And the thing that makes this so special is that you can go back in here and adjust it to the height specifications. And this wheel right here, it's about the same quality as a scooter wheel, like those that we used to ride around with those freaking street surfers or whatever they're called. I can't remember the name of that scooter company for the life of me. And I actually had its BMX counterpart, which that was pretty cool. So anyway, I just put a zip tie on here because the last time what happened was one of these screws came loose. So the top speed on this car currently is between 72 to 75, and I'll tell you guys why in a minute. So here's the upgrade. One of the main upgrades that I made is an air filter right here. So this is a stainless steel, sorry, not a stainless steel. This is a nickel plated aftermarket air filter that actually gives you more horsepower, because now it sucks in a greater, amount of air. And just to use this as a quick reference, this is the stock air filter that would otherwise be where this baby is. So let me just take these off real quick and show you guys the internals. Okay, so going inside, here's the air filter that we're talking about right here, and all it's holding it down is that retention screw. Now the thing about the retention screw is that when you get this, you actually have to bore a hole in with a drill to size it correctly. And the way that you do that is that you use this hole in here as a reference point. Now, that's exactly what I did, and I didn't even have a drill. All I had was a hobby knife. And since I build Gundams, which I got a couple of them right there on top by my pop shelf. When you build Gundams, you have to, you know, use hobby knives quite a bit. So I knew enough about a hobby knife to cut a custom hole and tighten that screw and really push down on this sucker, because when you're at top speed whipping turns at like 35, 45, you know, maybe even 55 in a parking lot, I go pretty freaking fast in the parking lot. The vibration is enough to push this off. So one day eventually I was like, you know what, I'm done. I went back to my stock for a while, and then, you know, I was looking at this big hole in my front shell here, and I'm like, you know what, I didn't just custom cut, you know, for like an hour just to go back to this stock makeshift poor excuse of a filter. So anyway, finally got this on super tight like freaking prom night, and now it's good to go. All right, now lastly, I want to talk about these beautiful aftermarket shocks I have right here, and I'll show you guys the stock shocks. Okay. so these shocks that I have here, and I'll show them, I'll just pull them all right out. These are the stock ones, and here's another aftermarket part that I added to these stock shocks is stainless steel caps. Now if you guys are wondering, to replace these cylinders, I'll just show you a quick reference. So the left hand side is a stock Jato 3.3 suspension shock, cylindrical, whatever you guys call it, and the diameter of this is greater than this. So when you replace your oil, this is about 3/4 of a full oil of this. So if you would take oil and pour this in, you'd be 3/4 of the way full. So these house way more oil. It's super awesome. The only thing about it is, though, it's you have to replace the gasket. When you pop this off, there's a gasket in here, so you're gonna pop that gasket into here and then replace your caps and make sure that you fill this oil all the way to the brim. Tighten, and then make sure that the threading count on the shocks here is gonna look similar, or if not as close as you can get it on every single corner. That's about as close as I can get it. All right. And then lastly, I'd like to talk to you about the paint job. I used Warhammer paint, Citadel paint for this. Since it's plastic, I did like a blue, and I painted the control arms down here. And up here, I did like some kind of like weird color scheme. I don't know. And here we have it. Model paint on an RC car with lots of metal parts. The only other future upgrades I'm going to do, like I was telling you guys before, I'm going to put this on the front end. Hopefully I can find a matching end. I'm going to skip the carbon fiber body. That's way too expensive. And yep, that's pretty much it. I mean, the only other thing I can do now is just get a bigger motor, which, by the way, bigger motors Costs about 350 bucks, but you're gonna have a bigger motor than a 3.3. I'm not exactly what sure. But this spring or this summer, keep posted. I'll keep updated on the channel, and I'm definitely looking to get a big motor. Let's see how fast we can get it. So thank you so much for watching. This is Able2088. So I'll keep these RC car videos flowing in, just to, in case I get like a T-Max or something. Definitely. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, and thanks for watching.